How's it going, everyone? College Lefty, and in this video I dominated in my very first Madden 24 game, so let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm pretty much going to be using the same exact squad that I posted in the last video. The only player that I picked up is this Derek Stingley card, and he will simply be a cornerback blitzer for me because this card I don't think will really cover a whole lot of people. I mean, yes, he's fast. He does have 78 man coverage, but still, even that I don't think is good enough. But he's a really good budget player, so I'm going to be kind of moving Rondé Barber to the 5th corner, and I'll be using Stingley as the 4th corner. That's the only update to the squad, and I'm excited to get into this game. I'm going to be using the Jets playbook to start. I did pull a pretty good kicker with a good amount of kick power, so I'm going to be using these guys on special teams. The reason why I have a couple defensive guys on special teams is simply because I tried to load into a game of squads to start the year, but for some reason I wasn't able to get into a game. Maybe there aren't a lot of people playing. But I am going to be using these strategy items with the Jets offensive playbook. The reason why I'm using the Jets playbook is because I like a few of the formations in there, like gun tight, offset, tight end. They also have a couple good bunch formations or a couple good bunch plays, bunch tight end, and regular bunch. But my opponent does have maybe a lower overall team than I do. I just have an 81 overall squad. I did purchase some packs, though, so I might have a slight advantage here. And we're starting off on defense, so I'm just making sure that I have all the guys in the right spot. Right now, I do not. I have DeMarcus Ware as a sub linebacker right now because I didn't adjust my specialists. That's definitely something I need to do. But for this one, we are just going to be blitzing the first play here. A lot of people, probably 80% of players, especially early on in the game cycle, will come out and cover 3 pretty much every single play, or at least to start the game until you prove you can beat it. So I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to go with the man blitz, and this guy can definitely beat man coverage. So if I give up a touchdown on the very first play to man, then I know for sure this guy can beat it. Typically, man is the meta early on in the game cycle. But it kind of has the same type of concept, right? If I give up a touchdown in man, then I know he can beat it. Just like if I give up a touchdown in cover 3, then I know he can beat it. I thought this guy was in cover 3, and he definitely was, just based on the fact that that cornerback on the left side was slightly off coverage. If he was in man coverage, he would be closer to the wide receiver. He might not be pressed, but he would definitely be a little bit closer and more man-aligned up with him. But with that said here, I went with my cover 3 beater right away. Second play, he went right back to it. And I overthrew that one, trying to freeform it to the right. This time, the only adjustment was to not freeform it. And we got a good accuracy throw right there. Kind of interesting, right? Freeform, you would expect to get better accuracy. But from what I've seen so far, and especially with some of these lower overall players, you kind of have to be careful. You have to kind of pick and choose when to freeform and when to just kind of launch that thing, or when to highball, right? Highballs are still usable this year. I'll show you that here in a little bit. But with that said, you don't want to highball every single pass, kind of like you did last year. But if you notice there, on this play right here, I went for 2. I went with the bubble, and you could see the corner. It was a man coverage that time. Same formation type of thing. But he was definitely closer to that far wide receiver on the left side of the bunch. But now we need to get a stop here. 4th and 4, and I played a terrible defense with my user right there. Just was not covering anyone. But luckily, Josh Allen kind of just threw the ball away there. Now we have an opportunity. He came out in a very similar look. However, this was man coverage, and I knew it was man coverage just based on where some of the guys had lined up. The corners were, more man-aligned, like I had mentioned. But I was looking for that wheel route that entire time. If you notice in the previous play, I went and kind of hot routed. I moved the receiver, to the right. And I didn't do it on that time, so maybe he was thinking something different, but I also wanted to keep that guy on his route because he was open. I had circle on that last play, but we come up with a big-time stop again on 4th down. That's actually a platinum gold card, some Jenkins from the Jaguars. I don't know a lot of these players. I don't know all these guys. Some of the big-name superstars, of course, I know. I've been following football, but I don't know every single player on every single team, so this is a way for me to learn. For example, I had never heard of the guy I just bought right before the game, Stingley. I don't even know who that is. But he is pretty fast, and he hasn't done anything yet, but hopefully he will soon. We don't get anything going on that last drive. I went back to that same scissor route with the running back. I just don't really know why I overthrew it. The first one, I think I was under pressure. The second one, I thought should have been maybe a good throw, but I also think I freeformed it way to the left. Have to just kind of be careful, maybe not freeform that last pass at all. But this opponent had a really tight window throw right there, and now he has a 4th and 5. His third 4th down in a row. We're looking to try and get a stop somehow. Here he's wide open. I knew exactly what he was going to. I just couldn't really cover it based on trying to set up the adjustments. And I could tell just based on that last play that this opponent is actually pretty good. Like, he was trying to stay away from getting a knockout, and I think he might have been just out of habit with the abilities from last year, trying to avoid a zone knockout or a man knockout. He also might have just simply tried to get a possession catch in there, but based on that last play, I could just kind of tell that this opponent was better than kind of what I would expect for my very first game typically, but also we're in early access, so people that are playing right now probably know what they're doing, I would imagine. But of course, you're going to match up with guys that maybe have, maybe 72 overall team. They're using a lot of the basic players from the preseason stuff, and this guy definitely had some of those players. But it does look like he's got 72s, like Aiden Hutchinson I just saw. He's got Travis Kelce out there. But for the most part, pretty even squads. Like, I really don't think you need the best team right now. This guy was in the game. He scored first, and then we kind of went, 3 touchdowns unanswered. That Irv Smith card is going to be really, really good. That's the only reason I didn't pick up that Isaiah Likely dude, because the other guy has 84 speed. I would imagine they're coming out with some type of legend tight end pretty soon. Maybe like Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates, one of those guys. Maybe the second week of Legends. I don't think there's one in the first week from the leaks I was hearing about. But yeah, so we're starting the second half here with the ball, and we score first. And this is pretty good. Pretty good start. We kind of run up the score a little bit. I'm looking to get a stop, try and score one more time. But I also had a feeling that this opponent might quit the game early. I really didn't know what to expect first game on. And that's exactly what he's about to do right now. So I'm just kind of waiting. I wasn't sure if he was going to. I wanted to kind of give him that chance. But I would have kept playing the game, obviously. Just first game, I had a lot of fun playing it. 50% completion rating. I feel like I would have had it maybe a little bit better with more accuracy. Like, a few of those throws were definitely my fault. I'm trying to get the hang of it. But for the most part, though, I kind of thought I played a little bit better than what I was going to. And some of these guys are pretty decent. Like, some of these cards, that Herbert card's pretty good. That DeAndre Swift I was using more than Herbert, just because he kind of plays better out of the passing game. But I also realized that this Justin Jefferson card that I picked has an AKA ability built in. Now, I don't think you can use the Sauce Gardner one. Maybe you can. It's just not as good as this Rack 'em Up one. But they only start for 3 plays. For some reason, I thought I saw that the Sauce Gardner ability was more than 6 AP. Maybe it was still 3 AP. I might be wrong. Once again, I don't have the card. But this is the current squad. I am working on trying to build up my offensive linemen, but I'm going to have more than I need just based on those Rookie Premier cards. I took that Elijah Tucker, and I'm glad I took him because he has maybe a little bit better attributes than some of those other Rookie Premiers. But I think you really need a good offensive line. Like, I noticed that my opponent didn't really have the best overall team, but he was able to block pretty good, and he had some big runs there. Broke off like a 70-yard run. But that's going to do it for this video. Kind of just my first impressions, talking about my thoughts about the game. I always enjoy playing Madden, and I'm excited for the year. Until next time, peace out.